Hey everyone, so welcome back to another video on our channel, and in this video we are going to share interview updates about the Accenture ongoing hiring. So Accenture have been hiring for SASA roles and PADA roles. Both of these roles hirings are going on in Accenture recently, and also new phases of these hirings have already been announced. We have covered those hirings earlier in this channel in different videos. If you have not applied for those hirings yet, go and apply for the hirings. The eligibility criteria is for all the batches till 2024. Any batch is eligible given the other conditions you are meeting. So you can go and check that videos for the eligibility criteria, exam pattern and everything, and apply for those. But those students who have already going through their interviews, that is the last phase of the hiring, we are going to cover one of those students interview experience in this channel, and what type of different questions they are facing in the interview basically. So different type of interview experience we are going to cover simultaneously, or we are going to give you a detailed idea about the how you should prepare for your interview in this particular video only. So let's start. But before moving on, if you're new to the channel, make sure to click on the subscribe button, join our Telegram group and WhatsApp group from the description box link. Also make sure to click on the bell icon after subscribing, because we post multiple hiring, onboarding and interview updates every regularly. Make sure not to miss out. So let's see different interview preparation questions and preparation strategy for the Accenture hiring. So let's start. So recent ongoing Accenture interviews are going on recently, and what is the experience are coming from multiple candidates, those who are giving the interviews already. So I have combined the coming interview experiences, and I'm going to give you a brief update about the all the interview experiences combined. First of all, like in every interview, mostly in the MNCs, the first thing that they're going to ask you is going to be introduction. So same thing is happening in Accenture as well. So introduction is going to be the key point where you can direct the flow of your interview. In introduction, along with your academic details and your some projects or some interesting certifications, whatever you have done, okay, you can add those things along with your details, so that they can force the interviewer to ask questions, at least some questions from your strongholds. Like you can ask that I am very much interested in clouds, or you can say that I am very much interested in machine learnings and AI related stuffs. You can say that in your introduction as well, so that the next questions they are going to ask, at least one or two questions they are going to ask from those topics. And if you are really interested only, then obviously you are going to say, and if you have really knowledge about those things, then you can add that in your introduction. So this is a very important point. Next thing is they're going to ask everything you have mentioned in your resume. Be prepared of this very much carefully. They're going to ask you questions from your resume. They might take any certifications name or any project names or any course name from your resume and ask questions from that. So whatever you have written, make sure to be prepared about that. Next, they're going to directly ask you if you have completed any certifications or not, if it is not mentioned in the resume, or if it is mentioned in the resume, they are going to directly pick from there, and they might ask some questions, basic questions from there. They are going to ask basic questions only, not they're not going to deep dive into that. Also, the very important thing is going to be about projects. So they're going to ask you questions related to your project, what projects you have completed in the interview. They're going to must ask these things, because this is a very important point for Accenture interview. This project and certifications part and resume part, these are very important topics that Accenture interviewers are going to ask you. Okay, and projects, what are the different types of questions from, also they're going to ask from projects. I'm going to mention that as well. From projects, they're going to, first of all, they're going to ask the what is the theme your project is on about, what is the problem that your project is solving. Okay, what is the problem statement, so you need to mention that. Also, they are going to ask obviously this is going to be a team project mostly, because the final year projects are mostly team projects. So they're going to ask you that was there any conflict in your team, and if there was a conflict, how did you resolve that. So you need to prepare a proper answer for that. They are going to check if you are good for teamwork or not. Also, they're going to ask you what problems you have faced during your project, what might be technical problems or other problems will be there, and how you have resolved that, how did you and your teammates contributed to resolving that problems. These type of multiple questions they are going to ask you from the project. Okay, if you have basic understanding of the project, then there should not be much technical details related questions in from the project, but the project functional or basic idea you should have properly in your mind. Next, there might be some questions from SQL and OOPS. These are also very important two topics for this Accenture interview. Some SQL basic questions and object oriented programming basic questions will be there. The pillars of OOPS, basically you should have a proper knowledge about all the pillars of OOPS. Also, for basic questions from SQL, you should prepare, and you should have proper industry experience examples as well, and also real life examples as well. Prepare for the different definitions. Next, there will be some HR type questions like what are your hobbies, what are your strengths and weakness, what are the, different types of places you want to visit, or might be like what do you see yourself in the next 5 years, why you are choosing Accenture, why not other companies, like that. Multiple HR type questions will be there. So these are basic HR questions that every company asks in rotation. So you can get these things easily on the internet, so you can prepare from there. And also there might be some questions, generally there are these questions asked at the end about your flexibility, like are you willing to relocate to any separate city, or are you willing to work in any technology you get, and also are you willing to work in any shifts, like night shifts are fine or not. These type of multiple questions will be there to check your flexibility. So that's all about the interview experience coming from Accenture. If you have given your interviews recently, make sure to comment down your interview experience, or you can directly mention it in our Telegram groups as well, so that others can also get some idea about it. So that's it. If you have any queries, you can comment down.